We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Cowboys. Huge game out of the team, huge clutch up offense. Overall, probably could have had some better moments, some things they want to take back, but I really like what I saw. Digging out, winning a tough game versus a very good team. All the injuries you have, it's not easy to win in the NFL, and they showed up, clutched up, did what they needed to do. Very proud of them. Great Christmas present. Merry Christmas to everybody that celebrates. Was absolutely astonishing to watch. Lots of good to take away. Some things overall they can work on, but shout out McDaniel making the playoffs in his first two seasons as a head coach. That's huge. I know he'll get some criticism for certain play calling. I'll even give some in this video, but looking at it overarching, he's done an absolutely outstanding job. I thought Tua had a good game. Certain throws he would like to take back. He missed some easy ones, which was weird for him, but I'm not worried about that as a long-term thing. That's not usually something that's a concern when I think it comes to Tua's game. And, the rest of the team really stepped up because Tyreek was playing injured, Waddle was playing injured, Moser was playing injured, Agehan wasn't 100%, and other guys stepped up, made plays like said, Durham Smythe, Jeff Wilson. They all made impact plays, and all they have to do is really, they were moving the ball well versus a good Cowboys defense. They just had to finish down in the red zone. They were kicking a lot of field goals. Great job by Jason Sanders as well. But overall, really like what I saw, especially from the defense. Get that in another video. But the offense really made enough plays to win this game. Obviously, they came out of the game. They got lucky with that fumble on the goal line. Great work from Elliott. And then kind of just tried to throw the ball down the field. This is actually, it would have been a 94, 95-yard touchdown. Would have been absolutely insane, 93, 94. And Tua delivers a pretty dang good ball for the pressure he's facing. This is, he took some of the hardest hits he's taken all season long. Gets hit. This ball gets dropped. I understand, they're rotating to cover 3 here. And Tyreek's trying, attack down the seam. And Tua puts it a little far to the outside. He wants him to stack over the top of this corner. And it just barely, it would have been a tough catch to make. But it was overall a pretty good throw. I want to see Tyreek hang on to that. But they do respond pretty nicely with another deep ball. Overall, I think the accuracy Tua showed pushing the ball down the field and the anticipation was really good. He just missed some easy ones that usually isn't his thing. And that's not something I think is concerning long term because he's always been a very accurate quarterback. Then they get the deep ball to Waddle. The Cowboys actually really just change up their game plan. They usually run so much cover one, play a lot of man-to-man, press a lot, and their corners were scared. You could tell, and that's what's so impressive about this offense. Even when you look at other teams and how they do good against defenses like this, they do it against, things where it's easy to pass against a cover one if you have the right personnel. Teams don't even dare to do that against the Dolphins, so they get the hardest passing looks that you possibly can. A lot of too high safeties. Right here, Tua just drops an absolute dime in his own end zone. I love the composure here to just come back right and throw this. After you get a delay of game penalty, after the drop from Tyreek, in your own end zone, just deliver this absolute bomb. Waddle just runs right past Gilmore. This is the stuff that you love to see. His downfield was really, really good in this game. Cowboys still ran man because that's obviously what they love to do, but they were going into 2-man, obviously scared to get beat over the top. So at the bottom here, Tyreek getting man-to-man. He probably could have, gone there, but he makes the right decision to go to his running back because he's reading down here. This guy, if he goes underneath this, you probably don't throw this, but since he has to go around the Tyreek thing, he just quickly makes a decision, gets the ball out to Wilson. I think Tua was very decisive in this game. That was the biggest part. Even though he missed some, he was very decisive. He didn't force anything, though, into, bad coverages. There was never any, turnover-worthy plays, plays that could have been intercepted. He's been really way better with that over these recent weeks. This game, for how often, he was getting the ball out so quick, making up for, the hurt offensive line, going against players like Micah Parsons. I just really love that aspect of the game of how quickly that ball was coming out, usually to the right place. Sometimes he just missed because he was trying to get rid of the ball a little too quickly, but I would rather have that than you taking a bunch of hits and getting sacked. I do think the Dolphins tried to run a little too many toss plays, a little too many toss cracks. The Cowboys were clearly better against that part of the run than up the middle. And even though there were some plays, tosses that were successful, overall they had a much better game working down the middle. And they try to get chosen to toss crack there. And then they do this on 2nd and 10 too. So then it becomes a 3rd and 13. And then after this play, Tua is basically just forced to throw it away. And they kick a field goal. Shout out Jason Sanders because he was making a lot of long ones. Next drive, Tua does have a little bit of a miss to Waddle on the first play of this drive, just a quick out. Play's kind of cut off a little bit, so I'm not really showing it, but then he responds anyway, so that play didn't end up mattering. I'll show some of the other ones where he had some couple misses. There was probably 3 I would classify. Then the other ones that I would say people might have thought were misses were more miscommunications. if anything. But I do like seeing Tua create off script. Cedric Wilson made some solid catches, was pretty reliable. Quickly feels the pressure. They're trying to, work this stunt to the inside. He quickly escapes the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, finds Wilson, and just plays like this were looking pretty solid for Tua accuracy-wise when he had to throw the ball like down the field past 10 yards. Dolphins did a good job on these play actions, creating some clean pockets for Tua to throw the ball down the field, and it slowed down their pass rush just long enough for Tua to actually hang in this pocket, and for this like two-man route concept to develop down the field. You get Tyreek working vertically, and as you can see, and then you were like the over route from Robbie Chosen. Chosen gets hurt on this play, which is unfortunate. But look at the Cowboys. They're dropping into Tampa 2, trying to do what the Titans did with these looks, Tampa 2. But since Tua has enough time, he's being patient, letting this develop. And then once he sees Chosen working to space, layer this ball over this linebacker in between these two guys. That's really good play. And unfortunately, Chosen gets his head hit on the ground afterwards. That was definitely not like a hospital ball, but it just was unfortunate that that's how it turned out to be. But good job from the offensive line. I do think I still need to spend more time just looking at specific players on the O-line, but I do like what I saw from some of them, and some guys could be better, but it's a tough ask at this point in the season going against this type of team and hoping backups for it to be as clean as you want it to be. I think the Dolphins did a much better job just running downhill. I think this is where I think they need to start running the tosses to Mostert. I feel like he's just not as effective there. Obviously, when he can get out of space, he can do a good job. But when he can just instantly get his pads vertical and get downhill, make one cut, he doesn't have to work horizontally at any point or work at like some angles. He just does a very good job in these scenarios. And I think the O-linemen feel more comfortable blocking these types of schemes. They're working angled across on some like split zone there. He reads these guys right here, these defenders, leverage of them, make a quick decision, cut this back, and now instantly get back vertical, break a tackle. And when he gets his pads vertical like this, he keeps them square to the line of scrimmage. He does a better job of breaking arm tackles and just getting downhill, and that's where Raheem can be at his most valuable. This is the 3rd and goal. This is the drive they try to go for it on 4th down. I'll show both these plays real quick, and they don't end up converting. Some of the play calling didn't work out. I didn't like the run concepts they called in 1st and 2nd down either. It didn't really give Mostert a chance to get going. Then they tried to throw it on 3rd down. I do like that they were running. This 3rd and goal play, I don't mind. Nothing's just open, at least. It was probably designed really to get to Waddle out of the backfield. That's like your main guy. But he gets poked in the eye by the defensive end. So that kind of kills this play because no one else is really open at all. Probably going to hit Tyreek right as he broke, but he was already feeling some pressure on the back end. His eyes weren't there, but that still probably wouldn't have been a touchdown. And he has to spin out, forced to throw it away. And then we get into this 4th and goal right here. And the design is clearly to get Tyreek the ball. They're motioning him across, but they end up getting him bracketed. This guy has his natural outside leverage. This guy has him to the inside. Tyreek's trying to break back to the outside. Tua sees that this isn't going to be open just based on how this defender's playing it. So he has to make a quick decision to throw up the fade. I don't even think a fade should be an option here just because, clearly we saw what happened last time. Not my favorite work from McDaniel or Tua on this specific scenario. But overall, I think they made up for it, so it's fine. These little things they can still work on and get better for sure, though. Now, plays like this, I thought Tua was phenomenal, bro. He was getting rid of the ball so fast on these concepts, and like this one, he didn't have to get rid of it too fast just because there wasn't a lot of pressure, with how they created this pocket for Tua. They motion Achane across, the overt motion, and then just look at the ball handling, the quick footwork. Everything is so fast. Look when he releases this ball. This ball is not even, he's already been prepared to release for a while. Tyreek's still not even close to breaking. That ball is coming out, and it's perfect placement as well. That's absolutely insane. And he was doing this all game long. And there was other plays where he was doing this with pressure in his face. Absolutely ridiculous. And Tyreek made a lot of big-time plays as well, even though there's probably some plays he would like back too. This is one of the plays Tua will want back. They got the look that they wanted with this tight bunch here. These guys to the inside, this linebacker on Achane. Tua makes the correct decision. He gets the exact look he wants. Ball is coming out quick. He's trying to throw with anticipation. Maybe him and Achane are slightly off page. Maybe Achane slows down. Maybe could have gone out of his break a little bit quicker. But overall, I think, Tua's trying to get the ball out so quickly. Sometimes you just miss these things. And going to a running back who's pretty small, you have to be pretty accurate there, and he just slightly misses him. These were just the plays that he usually doesn't miss, and it's in a 3rd down situation, and they have to kick another long field goal, which they do. And these are the ones that you definitely, plays that you look back and you're like, yeah, that could have led to a touchdown drive if we convert this 3rd down, or at least, a more easier, manageable field goal. Thank God Jason Sanders will make him in this game. So there's things to work on, but when you're placing top teams like this and you find a way to win, I'm not too concerned with how it looked overall. They were still moving the ball very well. This is the drive right before halftime. There's about 2.5 minutes left. This is one of my favorite 2-minute drives the Dolphins had all season long. It was absolutely beautiful. Tua was back there game managing, or whatever you want to call it. He was hitting that back foot, getting the ball out quick, making good, smart decisions, not forcing anything, taking what was given to him, which sometimes, in the past, he hasn't always done. He tries to force it down the field. He's working to this side of the field. You can see him, he's trying to move people with his eyes off the snap, but he knows he's going to come back to either Tyreek. And if he wants to throw this to Tyreek, he would have to, really throw it, right as he broke, so the ball would be out too late because he would be floating into the linebacker. So instead, he just takes what's given to him to Smythe, pick up 11 yards on first down. Then, you go into your next play. You kind of have to throw it away just because of the quick pressure. That thing happens, and then you respond. You get Cedric motioning across. You see that open space opening up. Cowboys are bailing out into their cover 3 right here, and he just sees this natural space. He was just taking what was given him. Just great work. Cedric transitioning upfield too with the momentum of that ball to pick up extra yards. Absolutely beautiful. Then they hand the ball off to Achane. He picks up a nice 9. Good physical run from him. He was playing pretty hard. He was definitely banged up, as you could tell. And then just getting the ball out so fast. He was feeling the pressure. He was definitely trying to go through his progression, see if he could push the ball down the field to Tyreek. He thinks this window's a little muddied, which I kind of agree with. He would have to throw it really early to fit in this window. He sees that. He doesn't want to force that. Give it to Smythe. Pick up another 8 yards on first down. See this space that the corner is, not this corner, but all the space that they're giving you off the snap that he could easily hit Tyreek. If Tyreek was running a curl, which you'll see later on, he would just throw it to Tyreek. But this is Tyreek's break into the slant. He's reading this defender, sees him work to Tyreek, so he throws it to Smythe. Pick up another, 10 yards on first down. Absolutely beautiful. Then the next play is when they get the cushion. Tua saw the cushion last play, knew that he could get the quick, hitch to Tyreek. They pick up 9. Another very long drive. This is just beautifully executed. This play, it was a 2nd and 1. This is where they get that questionable roughing the passer. Might have mattered, might have not, because it's still been 3rd and 1 and they didn't call it. This is probably the hardest Tua has been hit all year long, and I love to see him taking some big hits and showing some durability because he hasn't really been hit too much. And then the touchdown. Really, really beautiful stuff. The play design is so good because you have the bunch over here to the left, everyone working across or, a way to pull this space right here because this is where the space is going to be. You motion Mostert across, which gets, this guy thinking he's probably going to be man-to-man on Mostert because they're playing man, and then you leak Mostert back to their side, and now no one is covering him, and he gets a free walk-in touchdown. Almost was a little bit of a disaster because I think Raheem slows down a tiny bit as he turns, and then he takes a little bit of a hesitation, and Tua keeps leading him, but he ends up hanging on to it anyway. So great play design. Love that execution of that whole drive from McDaniel. Tua, beautiful stuff. Receivers being on the same page. Smythe, Wilson, Tyreek, all making plays, and then Mostert finishing. Another huge anticipation throw from Tua, just down the field. They motion Alec Ingold across, play action, get a clean pocket, ball just comes out with great timing. This is where, this is this is the bread and butter of what the Dolphins do. Getting the ball out super quick, but it's also still 15 plus yards down the field because of how quickly Tyreek can get to a spot, and then teams are forced to run zone against the Dolphins because you don't want to play man versus these receivers, and Tua is so good within the footwork, the timing, the anticipation in the pocket. It's all absolutely beautiful to watch. Unfortunately, I think this drive was kind of on McDaniel. They had a couple drives that you could probably throw in some blame to a few different people of how they end up kicking a field goal. They have to kick a field goal because this is 3rd and 1. Right before, he dumped it off to Tyreek, got down to the 3rd and 1 situation. Then they run a toss again. They got to start running these tosses, especially in these situations. In field goal range, these are the plays where you could lose yards, especially on short yardage. Just get downhill. This guy ends up blowing it up. They run it to DeMarcus Lawrence side. If you watch my preview, I said DeMarcus Lawrence is their best run defender. He basically takes out 3 guys on the play, slows down Achane. Achane tries his best. He breaks the tackle, tries to fight forward for the yards, but it just wasn't there, and they have to kick another field goal. And shout out Jason Sanders again for making another long one. One of my favorite plays from Tua all day long. Another anticipation throw. They motion across, and then look at the footwork in the pocket. The timing of this is so good. The way, this is not an easy thing to do with the play action, and the way he moves out this way, which you get to move the defense just with the footwork here. He opens up his hips completely to this side like he's a righty almost, and then flip it back completely to the left. It just, confuses safeties, and he hits that back foot, and as he's already preparing to throw, look at Tyreek. He hasn't even started to break yet. That anticipation's insane. And he's getting bracketed down the field. Like, the Cowboys are running quarters. They obviously don't want to get beat over the top. This guy's playing super over the top. This guy's trying to take away the inbreaker. They know they're just running the curl route. The ball comes so early that this guy has no chance to actually make a play on this. It's just absolutely, that's art for me. I also think, the Dolphins have struggled with some drop snaps, some bad snaps throughout the year. This is a low snap. Tua drops it. I think Tua had a couple, little drops like this. But he made up for it in this game, which I love to see. I love to see the bounce back. It's just a terrible snap, but they're running their, seam rail slide RPO that they always run. He's able to pick it back up, not panic. Love that. C. Smythe working down the field. Great job from Durham in this game. He was very, very reliable, and I love seeing Tua make some plays that don't always, just off script, not always within the timing of the offense. This is a 3rd and 8. First of all, look at how badly Tyreek burns Stephon Gilmore. The Cowboys were absolutely terrified to, run cover one basically the whole game. They go to it here, but they're bracketing Tyreek. This guy's basically doubling him. And look how quickly they get pressure on Tua. Look when Tua he's starting to release it now. Tyreek just got off the ball, and he's throwing this ball. Tyreek's going to catch this all the way over here. That is insane anticipation. And Tyreek is absolutely just so good. You can't play man-to-man. He absolutely burned Gilmore, and Stephon Gilmore has been playing elite football this season. Look how badly he beats him off the ball, and also with how quickly Tua gets rid of it is insane with the pressure on his face, just ready to get hit. It's all just absolutely amazing stuff. This is one of the plays where Tua would like back. This is just strictly on Tua. He just misses throws the ball out of bounds. He's trying to throw the ball with anticipation. Love the accuracy, love the decision. He was making good decisions. He was decisive. He was just slightly off on some of these outbreakers. Typically not even super far down the field, usually even shorter than this one, but this is probably his biggest miss. He's in quarters. He gets the look he wants. You know what I think it is? I feel like some of Tua's picks, a lot of them have come on these outbreakers, and he put them too far behind his receivers, and maybe he was just trying to get the ball out, lead his receivers a little bit more so that ball can't get picked. Which I guess is better than it being intercepted. But with all that space given to him on that specific play, I think, you just got to hit that with him in the chest. He didn't even have a ton of pressure on him on this specific play. He was feeling the pressure in some plays, but he was just a little bit off. And, that happens with quarterbacks. It's not something I'm concerned about with Tua long term, though. And here it is, the final drive. Every play I'm about to show is from this final drive. This is the first Tua pass. They threw a swing pass out to Achane. It picked up 6 yards, and that got him a face mask, which got them into this situation. And then just motion Jeff Wilson across. You get the slant at the bottom. You get the look you want, single high. He's just reading these defenders. He sees one is squeezing Smythe here. Because last time we saw this exact same concept. They saw one cheat out to Tyreek, so he threw it to Smythe. Now he sees him squeeze Smythe. He throws it to Cedric. Cedric wins, picks up 8 yards. That's exactly what you want. You get to your next play. You hand it off. You just get the ball quickly to Tyreek. Because, this is what happened. Gilmore got hurt, so they brought in the backup, and look how scared he is. You just take what's given to you, quick decisions, get the ball out, pick up the first down. Love that. Get decisive. Don't do anything too long because if you get sacked, that's how you lose a game in these situations. You end up taking the sack, and that's where it can hurt you. This one, yes, this was the miss. Tua was facing it unblocked. This guy was coming in unblocked, so he had to be hot and get rid of the ball. And look how quickly he's throwing this ball right here. He sees this as the space, and him and Tyreek are just not on the same page. And he's just seeing that this area is open, so he's trying to throw it where he thinks Tyreek will slow down. Clearly, Tyreek is seeing how much open this middle of the field is and wants to take it for a touchdown. So they were just slightly off on the same page. I understand both perspectives just because Tyreek just wasn't aware that the guy was coming in and blocked on Tua, and Tua had to throw it so fast, and Tua was just hoping Tyreek was going to sit down on it. Just a slight miscommunication, but they do make up for it. Then we get to this play. They run their normal seam rail slide RPO, get this underneath, pick up a nice chunk to Ingold. On a second down, it makes it a 3rd and short. After that play, you want to make it 3rd and manageable. After the miss to Tyreek, good decision from Tua just getting this ball out, and then Angle just getting downhill, picking up as many yards as possible. Then you get your next look. This is absolutely such a good design because they get the cover 2-man look pre-snap. Tyreek gets this guy to follow him, and before this play, Tua walked up literally right at the line of scrimmage. He saw the look and walked over to Berrios and Tyreek. So clearly he got what he wanted and was telling them what to do. So I love this call from McDaniel. Love the whatever exactly Tua was doing pre-snap. and then motion this across, jog, and then sprint back to it. This guy ends up slipping on the defense. You get the ball to Tyreek. I usually don't like the screens, but with the call that they got defensively and how it was executed was so good in this situation. You get it out, and then Tyreek makes some stuff happen out in space. Absolutely amazing. Really, really nice. And then now you just kind of finish off the game with some runs. You hand it off to Jeff Wilson. He gets downhill. He was running hard. It was nice to see Jeff Wilson making plays because you can just tell he has fresh legs. Like Mostert and Achane, clearly not 100% healthy. And while they're so explosive and big-time playmakers, it's nice to get someone in there with some fresh legs. Maybe even Chris Brooks can get some work too and allow them to, make these plays. They gain nothing on the next play, but then this is really where it's closed out. Get downhill, hand it off to Jeff Wilson. Really good job from the O-line up front. I thought Robert Jones made big plays. I liked watching him. I feel like he's probably the guy who's impressed me the most on the interior. Look at, if you can see, him get down on this down block and the movement that him and the right tackle can create because they're pulling Cotton across, and it just creates so much. Cotton kicks out his guy here enough, and it gives Wilson this room to get down, protect the ball. Really beautiful stuff. And then, they kneel it out to kick the field goal. It's just absolutely was amazing. Love seeing them clutch up after what happened in the Titans game. Doing this against a very good Cowboys team. The Cowboys are very good. Defensively, they have a lot of talent. They haven't been playing as great defensively as late, but Dolphins still in a competitive game. Cowboys offense is amazing, and the Dolphins even stepped up hugely. You'll see that video tomorrow. But just want to show this. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Great present from the Dolphins on this one. Super happy. A lot of those narratives can die now, and they're in the playoffs no matter what. They can even still win the first seed. It's crazy. They can go from the first seed to the 6th seed with how these final 2 games plays out. It's really insane. But at the end of the day, they're in the playoffs, so they have a chance to fight no matter what. So if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.